Every movie has random trivia. And here at Trivial Theater, I explore some of these movies and the random circumstances that make them the weird creations that we love. I really wanted to find a movie filled with good, bad yumminess, not just sprinkled or glazed. We're talking long john on weirdness. It has to have twists that don't fritter around with the whole story. Now that I've made you jelly of my attempted donut puns, this is 2016's Attack of the Killer Donuts. We start with an intro that is really outside the donut box, and I gotta say, I love that it has a theme that's as epic as the movie itself. After a wall of photos that makes me wonder if this is the room of a raging stalker or a dedicated boyfriend, we're introduced to our hero Johnny, who, judging by the cold pizza, Nerf gun darts, and guitar, will clearly look in Act 17. Scratch that, I guess he looks 25. Anyway, after learning you could look douchey eating bacon, and that apparently purses make good wall decor, Johnny and his mom drop some exposition about his donut shop job, unmowed lawn, and misunderstood genius uncle. Said uncle is doing mad sciencey things with a serum to bring the dead back to life, and it's done in a very amazing bulk style. From the turkey baster style needle to the weird use of a special effects based rat. He gets bitten, which I'm sure is the setup for the highly anticipated blockbuster spin-off featuring Super Rat Scientist. There's no way I can accurately describe the next epic location in the movie. Picture, if you will, a donut shop with Christmas lights, inflatable donut floaties, and only 5 donuts for sale. Sounds like a pretty classy place, right? Well, this is where we meet Johnny's co-worker, / unrequited love interest, / friend, Michelle, and are introduced to the first in a series of what the fuck characters, which ultimately leads to an epic fight between Johnny's uncle and the living embodiment of Mr. Krabs, otherwise known as the boss. A test tube of the serum gets expertly, yet accidentally yeeted into the fryer. Nothing bad is gonna happen from that, right? Oh, fun PSA side note, always remember to change out your fryer oil on a regular basis. It helps maintain proper cooking temperatures and prevents an army of killer donuts. On that note, the green gas escaping from these freshly fried donuts indicate that something may not be right. But who has time to notice that when there are cops stopping in for a baker's dozen? Clearly, a totally original plot point. At roughly 16 minutes in, we get our first donut-based fart. And I wish I could say it was the last.
Hey, who farted?
All this is followed up by a donut-making montage and a scene that maybe pays homage, or perhaps just outrightly steals both the magic glowing briefcase concept from Pulp Fiction and the faked orgasm scene from When Harry Met Sally.
I can feel it tingling all over my body.
I'll have what she's having.
Talk about a strange combination. In something I can honestly say I've never seen before, we get 2 characters that do their own versions of what seems to be a donut seduction ritual. All this ends about how you'd expect. In blood and disembowelment. Back with the cops, a perp in the backseat is given a donut, which causes him to go full farting donut zombie. He kicks out the back door and flees into the night. He ends up being hit by a car driven by our main characters, and goes into a full-on scene from Aliens. But instead of having a chest burster, he has an ass burster. They arrive at a beloved customer's house and try to save her, but they're slightly too late. We do get an epic donuts assemble moment and a slow-mo fight that will stand in my memory as the greatest example of sentient tooth donuts versus humans in the history of cinema. Back at Dandy Donuts, it's a sprinkle-fueled party, and at this point in the movie, I just gotta say,
I need donuts.
Johnny finally discovers that it's his uncle's serum that caused the living donuts. An antidote is cooked up, and we get another Avengers-style suit-up sequence, which leads to the final battle where only this antidote can stop the donuts. Well, that and a microwave. And a gun. And, well, honestly, the level of cringe in this scene would probably do it too. Despite their best efforts, bouncing CGI donuts beat out our intrepid warriors, and a cornered Johnny is only left with one option. The only option a true hero has. Light up a gas line, escape out a secret manhole, and leave everyone else to be burned or killed in the ensuing explosion. Dandy Donuts gets lit up, but amid the death and destruction, Michelle and Johnny find love. Because padding, we get a 6-minute bedroom banter scene, and what I can only assume is a direct quote from the writer's room.
Don't think so hard. You might strain something.
Finally, credits roll, where we learn that they had a donut puppet designer. I'm actually kinda sad they didn't list this person as a donut wrangler. And despite the fact that no animals were harmed in the making of this movie, they don't mention the dozens of maimed and killed living donuts. Rest in peace, donuts. Rest in peace. So, where to begin with Attack of the Killer Donuts? Well, it had some fun kills, my favorite of which was this Long John impaling a guy's skull. The Psycho-inspired shower kill was pretty good too. Unsurprisingly, Attack of the Killer Donuts took inspiration from 1978's Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, and it's really not much of a stretch in terms of plot points. Overall, it's really hard to describe the plot of this movie because it honestly feels like a series of ideas tossed out in the writer's room, where it was clearly stated there was no such thing as a bad idea. The weird variety of what the fuck characters had interesting moments, but they really don't do much for the story. With all the side plots, don't expect much for payoff, because everything other than the main story is a one-off to advance the plot at that moment. I did walk away having learned a lot about donuts. They apparently bounce, don't fall apart in the shower, are surprisingly well organized, and even with teeth they hold their balance while rolling really well. Oh, and they can drive a car better than most humans, which I suppose lends itself back to the well-organized point. Honestly, this movie is so full of WTF moments, I'd say it's an overstuffed Bismarck in terms of that. The title pretty much tells you everything you need to know. It's generally fun, cringy, and weird, as long as you can turn off your brain and just go with what's happening on screen. Unfortunately, there is one thing that stops me from recommending this one. The lack of donut-based puns is shocking, and with a movie at this level of goofiness, you put extra effort into the puns. Special thanks to the Movie Oracle for this delish recommendation. Ashley puts out a great variety of movie reviews and a tremendously fun game show. You'll find her link in the description below. So what do you think? Suggestions for movies, trivial questions, comments, ratings, and any really good donut-based puns would be appreciated. Thank you so very much for watching.